Okay, so today we are going to be putting together all the stuff that we've learned this unit with factoring, and we are going to be completing two-step factoring. So these problems are going to have a common factor, so you're going to have to factor out the GCF, and then you're going to have to factor the trinomial that is left. So let's start with our problem, which is to factor 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. And we'll draw our line down the middle. So first, we are always going to factor out the GCF. And since there are three terms, we are going to be using a 1x3 box. And so you already have the steps on how to factor out the GCF 2 pages back in your notes. So if you forgot, you can go back and reference how to factor out the GCF. So we have 2x squared, 10x, and 12. So let's expand. 2 times x times x, 2 times 5 times x, and 2 times. So remember, once we expand, then we would circle the factor that's in all of the boxes, or factors. In this case, I see a 2 in all of the boxes. 1, 2, 3 of them. All three have a 2. And it looks like that's the only common factor. That's the only thing those 3 boxes have in common. So 2 is going to come out here. That is your GCF. And then whatever's left, we're going to write up on the top. So we have x times x. So we have x squared. Then we have 5 times x left. 5x goes up here. And 2 times 3 left. And so 6 goes up here. So far, we have factored the GCF out, and we're left with 2 times x squared plus 5x plus 6. Next, we are going to factor the parentheses with 4 boxes. So that's this, x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now we're going to try to factor that. And so remember, we put x squared here, we put 5x here, and we put 6 here. So yay, a is 1, so that makes things a little bit easier. What multiplies to give us x squared? We have x and x. And then what multiplies to 6 and adds to 5? So it could be 6 and 1, 3 and 2. I think those are our only options. So which of those adds to 5? Of course, the 3 and the 2. And since a is 1, it doesn't matter where we put the 3 and the 2. They both are going to get multiplied by x. So x times 3 is 3x. 2 times x is 2x. Yay, those combine to give us the 5x we need. So this factors to x plus 2 times x plus 3. So then the last step is we just put those two together. So we're going to bring down the GCF. And write the factored expression. So our GCF was 2. So we're going to bring down the 2, and then we're going to put it with what we just factored, x squared plus 5x plus 6, which we said factors to x plus 2 times x plus 3. And that's it. Okay, let's look at your two-step factoring assignment. Okay, so for all of these, you're going to need a 1x3 box and then a 2x2 box. So let's factor out the GCF first. So 2 times v times v, negative 1 times 2 times 2 times v, negative 1 times 2 times 3. So our common factor, what do all of these boxes have in common? A 2. These have a v, but this one doesn't. So that would be the only other option, and so 2 is just our GCF. So we're left with v times v, which is v squared, negative 1 times 2 times v, which is negative 2v, negative 1 times 3, which is negative 3. So far our answer is 2 times v squared minus 2v minus 3. But we're not done because we can factor this again. So we're going to use a 2x2 box. And we're going to factor this trinomial. So we're going to put v squared here, negative 2v here, and negative 3 here. And what multiplies to give us v squared? V times v. What multiplies to give us negative 3, but adds to negative 2? I'm going to say negative 3 and 1. Because if we put negative 3 and positive 1, we get negative 3v and 1v, which add to give us negative 2v. So the factors here are v plus 1 times v minus 3. And so now we just put those two together. So we write our greatest common factor, which is 2, with our factor trinomial, which is v plus 1 times v minus 3. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and work on two-step factoring.